Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
And, today we're going to tackle something that is pretty big. I mean, it's been all over the news.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of you have questions. So we're going to talk about the disappearance of TikTok here in the U.S. I mean, one day it's the hottest platform out there, and the next it's like, poof, gone, vanished.
Yeah.
Into thin air. So, I mean, I bet a lot of you are feeling pretty lost right now, especially if you relied on TikTok, for your business or your brand.
Yeah, it's definitely been a major disruption, and it's understandable that people are, feeling uncertain about what to do next. And what's so interesting is that TikTok's exit wasn't due to a technical issue or a hack. Like, some people initially thought it was actually a deliberate move on their part, driven by just this whirlwind of political and legal pressure.
It's not your typical Tuesday morning, then.
No, not at all. As of today, January 19th, 2025, TikTok is essentially off the grid for American users. And the big question on everyone's mind is, will it ever come back? Right now, the situation is shrouded in uncertainty. There's talk of potential negotiations with the government, but we really don't have a clear answer yet.
Okay, so we're in limbo. So let's get practical. For someone who was actively using TikTok, whether it's a casual user or a business owner who built their entire strategy around it, what does this actually mean for them right now?
Well, the most immediate impact is the loss of that direct connection with their audience.
Right.
Imagine you're that bakery owner who went viral with their amazing cake decorating skills. They were getting tons of new customers and orders through TikTok. Now that traffic is gone and they need to find a new way to reach those cake lovers.
So what are the options? I know a lot of people are talking about VPNs as a way to get back on TikTok. Is that a viable solution, or is it just a temporary Band-Aid?
It's a question a lot of people are grappling with, and there's no easy answer. While VPNs might technically let you access TikTok from other regions, they're not a foolproof solution, especially for businesses. In fact, Watertown Business Advisory, LLC, a company that's been guiding businesses through this whole situation, actually advises against using VPNs.
Whoa, really? I thought VPNs were like the go-to workaround for these kinds of things.
They can be, but there are some serious caveats to consider. First off, using a VPN might violate TikTok's terms of service, and you could even run into legal issues. It's a murky area, and the rules are constantly changing.
So it's a risky move, legally speaking.
Exactly. But beyond the legal concerns, there are also marketing implications to consider. Using a VPN tricks the platform into thinking you're in a different country. Which messes with your data and targeting, so your content won't reach the right audience. If you're a US-based business trying to connect with American customers appearing to be in, say, Europe, is going to throw off your entire strategy.
So for a business that's trying to build a brand and reach their target market, VPNs are more of a headache than a helper.
Precisely. And this is where Watertown Business Advisory, LLC, is really stepping in to help businesses navigate these complexities. They're providing practical advice and resources to help businesses adapt to this new landscape without resorting to risky workarounds.
So if VPNs are off the table, what are some of the alternatives that Watertown Business Advisory is recommending? What should people be focusing on right now?
Well, the key word here is diversification.
Okay.
They emphasize the importance of not putting all your eggs in one basket, which is a lesson many are learning the hard way right now.
I can imagine. It's like suddenly realizing your entire house is built on a fault line.
Exactly. So instead of scrambling to get back on TikTok, Watertown Business Advisory suggests channeling that energy into building a more resilient online presence.
That sounds a lot more stable. But what does that look like in practice?
It's about creating a multi-pronged approach where you're not reliant on a single platform for your entire audience reach.
Okay, let's unpack that. What are some of the prongs in this approach?
Well, first and foremost, think about repurposing your TikTok content for other platforms.
Okay.
You've already put in the creative work, so adapt it. Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, even Facebook Stories are all viable options.
That's a great way to leverage existing content without starting from scratch.
Exactly. But even more importantly, focus on building a direct connection with your audience. This is something Watertown Business Advisory, LLC strongly emphasizes.
I can see why. It's like building your own house instead of renting an apartment.
Yeah.
You have more control and stability.
That's a perfect analogy. Think about starting an email list or creating a community on platforms like Discord or Facebook groups. You own those spaces, so you're not at the mercy of algorithm changes or platform shutdowns.
So it's about owning your audience and having a way to communicate with them directly no matter what happens in the social media landscape.
Absolutely. And that's where things get really interesting. Watertown Business Advisory, LLC, is actually helping businesses leverage these alternative platforms to create deeper engagement with their audiences.
Can you give us an example of what that looks like in practice?
Sure. Imagine that bakery owner we talked about. Instead of just posting videos on Instagram Reels, they could start a Facebook group where they share exclusive baking tips, host live Q&A sessions, and even offer special deals to group members. It creates a sense of community and loyalty that goes beyond just watching videos.
So it's about turning viewers into active participants, building a relationship that extends beyond the confines of a single platform.
Exactly. And it's something that TikTok, with its algorithm-driven feed, didn't always facilitate.
That's a really interesting point. It seems like this situation is forcing people to rethink their approach to online engagement, moving away from chasing viral fame and focusing on building genuine connections.
I think that's a silver lining in all of this. It's a chance to step back and ask, what kind of online presence do I want to create? One that's built on fleeting trends, or one that's rooted in authentic relationships?
It's a powerful question, and one that a lot of people are probably grappling with right now. But let's be honest, change can be scary. For someone who's feeling overwhelmed by all of this, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
Don't panic and don't try to do everything at once. Pick one or two strategies that resonate with you and focus on those. And remember, you don't have to go it alone. Watertown Business Advisory, LLC, and other organizations are there to offer guidance and support. They're helping businesses navigate this transition and come out stronger on the other side.
That's reassuring to hear. It's a reminder that even in the midst of disruption, there are people and resources available to help us adapt and thrive.
Exactly. And I think that's a key takeaway here. The TikTok situation is a wake-up call, but it's also an opportunity to rebuild, to reevaluate our priorities, and to create a more resilient and sustainable online presence.
So what we're really talking about is using this moment as a catalyst for growth, for building something stronger and more meaningful than what we had before.
Precisely. It's about turning a challenge into an opportunity.
This has been incredibly insightful, and it's given me a lot to think about. But I'm also curious about the bigger picture. What does the disappearance of TikTok tell us about the future of the internet? Is this a sign of things to come?
It's a question a lot of people are asking, and it's hard to say for sure what the future holds, but TikTok's exit definitely raises some important questions.
Yeah.
About the stability and the control we have
Right.
in the digital world.
Yeah. You know, it is a bit unsettling to think that a platform with millions of users can just disappear overnight.
It does make you wonder, what could happen if other platforms suddenly went dark? Imagine if Instagram or YouTube faced similar pressures and decided to pull out of the US market.
Wow, that's a thought I hadn't even considered. It would be like losing a major lifeline for so many businesses and creators.
Exactly. And it highlights the importance of what we were discussing earlier about diversifying your online presence and building a community that's not solely dependent on any one platform.
So in a way, this whole TikTok situation is a bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah.
It's urging us to take a closer look at our digital foundations and make sure they're built on solid ground.
I think that's a great way to put it. This is an opportunity to create something more sustainable, more resilient, something that can weather any storm.
So what does that look like practically speaking? What steps can people take to fortify their online presence and make sure they're not caught off guard again?
Well, as we've discussed, diversifying across multiple platforms is crucial.
Right.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Spread your content across Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Even consider exploring emerging platforms like Twitch or Discord if they align with your audience.
It's like having a backup generator for your digital life.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You want to ensure you can still connect with your audience even if one platform goes down. But it's not just about being on multiple platforms, it's about how you engage on those platforms.
Well, it's not just about quantity, it's about quality too.
Absolutely. Focus on building genuine connections with your audience. Create content that provides value, sparks conversations, and fosters a sense of community. That's what will ultimately keep people coming back, even if the platform changes.
That's a really important point. It's about building a loyal following that goes beyond just likes and followers.
And finally, remember the power of owning your own platform. Whether it's a website, a blog, or an email list, having a space that you control gives you a sense of stability and independence that social media platforms simply can't offer.
It's like having your own home base, a place where you set the rules and you're not subject to the whims of algorithms or platform policies.
Exactly. It's a place where you can truly be yourself and connect with your audience on your own terms.
This has been such an insightful conversation. I think it's given us all a lot to think about. As we navigate this new digital landscape, it's clear that we need to be more adaptable, more resilient, and more focused on building genuine connections.
I couldn't agree more. It's a challenging time for sure, but it's also a time of incredible opportunity. If we embrace this moment, we can create something truly special, online communities that are stronger, more diverse, and more meaningful than ever before.
And remember, if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed, there are resources available to help. Watertown Business Advisory, LLC is a great place to start. They offer personalized guidance and support to help businesses navigate this transition and thrive in this new digital world. We'll be sure to include their information and other helpful resources in our show notes. So stay curious, keep exploring, and keep building those meaningful connections online. Stay curious and keep diving deep.